Hi guys, Shannon Gonter here. We're here with Lacey Ryan. She's going to answer some questions for us that were asked by you guys. And then of course, we're getting them answered by professionals in the field to help you out. If you have questions for us, whatever they may be, DM us and we'll get them answered. Our question today for you, Lacey, though, is I know what type of parent I don't want to be, but I'm not quite sure what type of parent I want to be other than knowing I don't want to be that. So how do I figure this out?
Yeah, that is a wonderful question and one that I can personally identify with. As a new parent a few years ago, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And like many people, I knew what I didn't want to do, and I knew how I didn't want to act as a parent. And I knew especially how I didn't want my child to feel because of my parenting style.
Mhm.
But my partner and I were just like, well, we don't know what to do. And there's so many different approaches out there, and it's kind of overwhelming to choose. And so we ended up going to a positive discipline workshop and fell in love with it, mostly because it was easy to understand and easy to apply the tools that we learned that day. We went to a workshop that lasted a few hours in one day, and we were really ready to start to apply them. And so we went home, and our son was 2 at the time, and we just tried the tools immediately. And we're just looking at each other like, oh my God, did you see that? It worked. For trouble, like the main thing that we had been having trouble with is transitioning from playtime to then the evening routine. And
Mhm.
so dinner time, and then bath time, and then finally bedtime.
Mhm.
And so when that first skill worked, we just felt so relieved and also confident, and we felt capable as parents too, which I didn't realize at the time that I was feeling incapable as a parent.
Mhm.
And so from that grew a love for positive discipline. And now I'm a certified positive discipline parent educator. And pretty much all of the therapists at my practice, creative family counseling, is a positive discipline parent educator, because it's like a trickle effect. Once it starts affecting a few of us, we've shared resources, and then we've all fallen in love with it and just want to share the resources with the families that we work with.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times kids come to us for lots of different reasons, whether they need individual support or parent support. But we have found that many of the parents benefit from learning the positive discipline tools, while we're also helping the child recover from whatever they're recovering from.
Sure.
And so it's a great approach, as you know, as a family therapist, of working with the whole family system.
Yeah. And it seems like something, I don't know too much about it, but it seems like something that grows with your family as well, whether it's the number of kids you have or the age that they're at, because
Mhm.
a lot of, I mean, even from like the hospital or people, it's like how to have a baby and take it home and keep it alive the first year. And then it's like, okay, well, good luck.
Yep.
Um,
Bye.
this is something that, like you said, like kind of adapting with age and like what you do with a teenager versus a 5-year-old is different. But I'm assuming the kind of premise or framework is very similar.
Yes,
Um,
it is. All of the positive discipline tools can be applied to one child or many children. And it also, the very first book is just called Positive Discipline by Jane Nelson. But since then, she's authored several other books of like 0 to 3 positive discipline, 3 to, the toddler years positive discipline. There's even a teenage years positive discipline. So the same skills can be applied. There may be some tweaks and adaptations as a child becomes more autonomous and independent. Then you're going to be leaning more into those tools in the parenting toolkit than you would with like a 3 through 6-year-old. But the whole, like the tagline of positive discipline is being kind and firm at the same time. And so I know for a lot of parents, when they were parented as young children, they had experiences that didn't make them feel good, or that they didn't feel like were what they needed. And so when parents come in to see us, or and vice versa, sometimes parents come in and they feel like that they had a wonderful upbringing, and so they're not sure why them replicating the parenting approach that their parents had, why it's not working with their children. And
mhm,
their children are different children.
mhm,
And so, when some parents come in, it seems like a lot of parents fall on the spectrum of either permissive And so the emphasis and concern is on the relationship. I want to stay connected. I don't want to do anything that's going to cause harm to my relationship with the child. And so because of that, there's no structure. And they're extremely permissive, and things are a little chaotic at their house. And then the other end of the spectrum is more punitive and more structured and more controlling. And the emphasis is on I needed rules, or I responded well to rules. And so it's a very authoritarian approach of I'm in control. And so what is suffering in those homes is the relationship between the child and the parent, where positive discipline is in the middle of those. It's an authoritative approach. And so the emphasis is on maintaining that relationship in a respectful way, creating solutions together, um, teaching boundaries and limitations, but doing it in a kind and respectful way, while emphasizing that what I'm doing now with my child is going to teach them skills that they will have the rest of their lives. So if I'm doing everything for them, maybe that's happening over on the permissive side, then they're not learning the skills of independence and autonomy and helpfulness. Or over here, if I'm controlling everything, then they're still kind of missing out on those same skills. And so being in the middle, it's non-punitive, it's non-permissive, but we're meeting children where they are and helping to encourage those lifelong skills that we want to have in them.
Yeah, I like that. I know you mentioned a couple of books, but are there other kind of resources if people want to like learn more about it, read about it before doing a training or something like that? Where would you point them?
Yes. So our whole practice, since we love positive discipline, the primary way that it is taught is through parent workshops, which we can't have right now. So, 9 months ago, we had to cancel all of our parent workshops in the spring, and it's just still not safe from the pandemic to offer them due to the need to social distance. So, what does a bunch of creative minded therapists do? Well, first we took some time to breathe and settle ourselves down. How are we going to do our job? And then we just got busy. We came up with a creative solution, and one that we're so excited about. We have released the Positive Discipline Foundational Parenting Package. And so it is a self-paced, at-home video series that parents can view at their own pace in the comfort and safety of their homes. And during pandemic schedule, time is limited, right?
Mhm.
And so when we were thinking about what we could offer online workshops, we were like, I don't have time to offer an online workshop. And I think that's how a lot of parents are. So these videos can be viewed in 15-minute snippets at night after your kids go to bed. It can be on your lunch break, and the whole series is like around 4 hours worth of work that you can go through at your own pace. And it comes with a downloadable workbook, the Positive Discipline Parent Workbook, for you to gain more understanding about the different types of parenting, understand a little bit more about why different parenting approaches like punishments and rewards, how they work, and why they don't oftentimes work long term.
Mhm.
And so it allows you to understand why what you're trying isn't working. And it also creates for you a toolkit that you will kind of graduate from by completing the series, which will make you feel like a more authoritative parent, and be in the middle of that spectrum. And so you'll leave with a ton of positive discipline tools that can be applicable to birth through teenage years.
I like that. And I imagine for the people that are like, I know I don't want to do this, but I don't know what I want to do, meaning they maybe don't have a lot of tools, having those tools in there would be really helpful to whether it's, yeah, build that connection or confidence or just like try something. Like there's a tool. Let's try to use it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and so much of parenting is like recognizing when you're just beating yourself over the head with the same problem, right? So stop doing that. Try something different. Go a different way. Choose a different path, and this can be that path. So it's called the Positive Discipline Foundational Parenting Package, and
Okay.
it's on our website, which is creativefamilycounseling.org.
And I imagine that's something people can get that are outside of Louisville, outside of
Yes.
Kentucky.
Hmm.
Cool.
Absolutely. Wherever you are, it's online, not limited to location at all.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much. I think that's so helpful. Definitely helpful to the listener who asked the question. And guys, remember, if you have a question about parenting, about pandemic, relationships, anything mental wellness related, shoot us a DM and we will get it answered for you. But until next time, be safe and stay well.
Thank you.